Park is that he did have similar ideology to Guy Bartkus. He posted about these ideologies on internet forums dating all the way back to 2016.
Tonight, federal authorities lay out what they are learning about a second suspect in the bombing of a Southern California fertility clinic. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. Investigators believe a man from Washington State supplied the Palm Springs fertility bombing suspect with explosive material. As Fox 13's AJ Janavel reports tonight, authorities took Daniel Park into custody at JFK Airport in New York.
Investigators say on May 17th, Guy Bartkus blew up a car full of explosives outside of a Palm Springs fertility clinic. FBI officials reported today that Kent local Daniel Park shipped nearly 200 pounds of ammonium nitrate, an explosive precursor to Bartkus.
We're able to confirm through our investigation that 6 packages of ammonium nitrate were shipped from Park in Seattle to Bartkus in 29 Palms.
Investigators report that 25-year-old Guy Bartkus and Kent local Daniel Park shared similar ideology, talking online about their anti-natalist views, a belief that people should not have children.
Park paid for an additional 90 pounds of ammonium nitrate that was shipped to Bartkus in the days leading up to the Palm Springs attack.
FBI officials said Bartkus killed himself in the explosion back in May. Officials called it probably one of the largest bombing investigations ever in Southern California.
One thing that we did determine in our search warrant in Seattle was that Park was in possession of an explosive recipe that was similar to the Oklahoma City bombing.
Investigators report that Park and Bartkus spent weeks together working on, quote, experiments in Bartkus's garage in California. FBI officials said Park left the country days after the bombing. Now, while Park was arrested by FBI officials last night at JFK Airport, investigators say that he was actually detained by Polish authorities outside of the country on May 30th. Park appeared in federal court today in New York City. He's charged with providing and attempting to provide material support to terrorists. Back to you.
Clearly, this is not the outcome we wanted to see. We were hoping that we could find Travis today, but we are feeling optimistic thanks to our Marshals Department that has come through and tracked down some good leads that we feel are giving us more of an insight into Travis's mindset.
The manhunt is intensifying tonight for a Washington father who's accused of killing his 3 daughters with a possible sighting now being reported. Police in McCall, Idaho, say they are investigating reports of a possible sighting of Travis Decker, the suspect in this case. McCall is about a 2.5-hour drive north of Boise. It would have likely taken Decker more than 6 hours to drive to McCall from central Washington. That's where he's suspected of killing his 3 daughters. While this manhunt has gone nationwide, much of the focus is still on the northwest area, northwest of Wenatchee, Washington. That's where the girls' bodies were found. As Fox 13's Lauren Donovan explained tonight, investigators believe Decker does have the skills to live outdoors in difficult terrain for months.
Obviously, a lot of new information coming in, and I cannot speak to yet the search efforts out in McCall, Idaho, 7 hours away from where we are in Leavenworth. But I can tell you from what I've seen today that authorities here, local, state, and federal, are taking this very seriously. Right down the road from where we are on Icicle Road, the gateway to the Enchantments, one of the most popular places in the entirety of Washington state to get outdoors, to recreate, and all of it is on lockdown. I can tell you, as they search for Travis Decker, that there are road barricades, campsites entirely vacated. Initially, everybody was told stay away from the Icicle Gorge area, and that's about 40 minutes outside of town. But now the barricade there has actually moved up, and it is closer to about 10 minutes outside of town. So inching closer and closer to where we are here in Leavenworth. We spent roughly 3 long hours tracking law enforcement without cell reception out in the Wenatchee National Forest. And there we observed activity that really seemed to intensify near the Johnny Creek campground. Authorities would not confirm what exactly was going on there, but at one deputy, they told me, get back, it is not safe to be in this area. We found ourselves there 20 minutes down the road at the vacated campground. after we saw a fleet of law enforcement vehicles speed by, followed by one medic car. They had numbers heading out there fast and with force, so we knew something was up. Initially, two of the vehicles, they first pulled over at the 8 Mile campground, and that's about 8 minutes away from Johnny Creek, where we ended up. Campers over at 8 Mile, they told me last night authorities were making the rounds, going site to site, looking in vehicles, showing photos of Decker. Campers report seeing militarized vehicles and officers armed with military-grade weapons. We're talking ARs. Travis Decker has an extensive military background, and we know that he could survive in the woods for days if need be. We're reporting in Leavenworth. Lauren Donovan, Fox 13 News.
We are following a developing story tonight off Alaska's coast. That's where the U.S. Coast Guard says it's sending crews to clean up after a burning cargo vessel. This fire broke out yesterday and forced the crew of the Morning Midas to abandon ship about 300 miles south of Alaska's chain of western islands. The vessel is carrying 3,000 vehicles, including 800 EVs. The cargo was being shipped from China to Mexico. All 22 crew members evacuated with lifeboats, and they have now been transferred to a nearby merchant vessel. It remains unclear tonight exactly what started that fire. Well, we are learning more today about how the man suspected of throwing Molotov cocktails into a crowd of demonstrators in Colorado got injured during that attack. Fox's Kennedy Hayes is in Boulder tonight with newly released video showing Mohammed Solomon on fire.
The number of victims is up from 12 to 15, plus a dog, and we're learning more about Solomon and his family. Fox obtained this new shocking video of the suspect engulfed in flames and a warning it may be hard to watch.
Oh my God, what is that?
Water. Please, someone call the police, please.
The suspect, Mohammed Solomon, is seen wearing an orange vest and dressed as a gardener. Investigators say he threw 2 Molotov cocktails to light people on fire during the attack Sunday. They recovered 16 more unused firebombs at the scene. Solomon is in the U.S. illegally after overstaying a visa, according to investigators. Now he's facing 16 counts of attempted murder and federal hate crime charges. Yesterday, DHS and ICE took Solomon's wife and 5 children into custody. Federal authorities revoked their visas and processed them to be quickly deported, but today a federal judge blocked that order, stopping the deportation for now. None of the family members have been charged, and according to the Anti-Defamation League, anti-Semitic incidents were up 5% nationwide from 2023 to 2024. In Colorado, 42%. Today, Colorado's governor, who is Jewish, joined faith leaders in Boulder.
There's the scourge of anti-Jewish and anti-Semitic rhetoric and, sadly, violence continues to rear its ugly head. We want to say enough.
We have seen this coming, and Jews here and all over America and all over the world have not been feeling safe, not physically safe and not emotionally safe, in the face of demonizing hate speech.
Solomon is due in state court Thursday and federal court Friday. In Boulder, Colorado, Kennedy Hayes, Fox News.
ICE officials say law enforcement agencies in at least 9 West Coast states want to partner with the federal agency on immigration enforcement. They have put out a map that was posted online showing states where local law enforcement agencies have applied to become part of a new program that allows local officers to carry out some immigration enforcement functions. Applications have come from the states that you see in green on this map. You'll notice that Washington, Oregon, and California are shaded gray. The states in gray have laws or policies in place prohibiting this type of partnership with the federal government on immigration enforcement. President Trump is bringing back the travel ban for people from certain countries similar to his first term. He signed a proclamation today banning entry into the U.S. for people from a dozen countries. Most of them are in Africa, such as Chad and Sudan, as well as Iran and Afghanistan. This goes into effect at 12:01 Monday morning. President Trump is also heightening restrictions on visitors from 7 other countries, including Cuba. In today's proclamation, President Trump said he is acting to, quote, protect the national security and national interest of the United States and its people. Today, a jury was seated for the 3rd trial of the so-called Doomsday Mom, Lori Vallow Daybell. This happened in Phoenix. Daybell is accused of conspiring with her late brother in the attempted murder of her former nephew-in-law in October of 2019. Daybell was convicted in Idaho in 2023 of the murders of 2 of her children and her current husband's first wife. Also last month in Phoenix, she was found guilty of plotting the fatal shooting of her 4th husband, Charles Vallow. Coming up tonight here on West Coast Wrap, vandals strike again at the site of a tribute to Lakers legend Kobe Bryant. Tonight, the tribute's creator considers a move.
Let's head to Las Vegas, where it doesn't look so bad right now, but there is a flood watch in effect with spotty thunderstorms in the area. We have your complete West Coast Wrap forecast coming up.
This model really excels at is taking some of that historical data, taking what we've observed over time, but then applying it to products and patterns that we might not have seen before.
Also coming up tonight, Amazon puts AI to work in the San Francisco Bay Area. See how the company plans to use the technology to fast-track your orders. A downtown Los Angeles mural honoring the late Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gigi has been vandalized for the 2nd time in a month. The Mambas Forever mural was tagged with white spray paint just days after it was restored from prior vandalism. The mural, which features Kobe and Gigi holding a basketball in front of the LA skyline, was defaced back in late April. It took weeks and thousands of dollars to fix. The artist is now planning to move the mural to a new location, although that plan has faced backlash.
It's a guarantee that won't be defaced. That won't be vandalized. There's no guarantee. Secondly, the thing which is even worse, if you allow this to happen, not once but twice, the message is you can be intimidated. The message is you can be run out of the community.
It's not clear whether anyone has been arrested in connection with either case of vandalism. California's high-speed rail project is under fire tonight as U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy announced today that he wants to take back $4 billion in federal funding that's been authorized for that project. The secretary says California has 37 days to respond to his letter. That 310-page Federal Railroad Administration compliance review report says that California has failed in 9 key areas. That includes missed deadlines for procuring trains, funding shortages for contractor delays, and inability to get the trains in operation by 2033. Bay Area lawmakers say they are still going to fight to keep that money.
Is politically motivated and needlessly vengeful. When the federal government agrees to commit funding for local infrastructure projects, communities across the country need to be able to rely on the federal government to deliver on its promise.
The California High-Speed Rail Authority says the project has successfully overcome environmental clearances along 463 miles of the 494-mile route from San Francisco to Los Angeles, and the state is now pursuing private partnerships to try to help out with the funding. Let's shift here and talk about our weather here. And storms crossing the southwest have led to flash flood watches and warnings in many places. This is a look at the scene in Phoenix from early this morning as they were hit with some heavy rainfall. So far, no reports of any damage with that storm. But let's bring in KTVU meteorologist Roberta Gonzalez, who is tracking the start of monsoon season in Arizona. They have seen a ton of rain lately.
Isn't it interesting just to see that rain fall and the wind blow? And I'm still blaming it on what was Tropical Storm Alvin, the first named storm of the hurricane season. It was right off the Baja California coastline that pushed on shore and took all of its remnants into Arizona, tapping into subtropical moisture. And the end result was more rain again today in Phoenix. In fact, it's interesting. For the entire month of June in Phoenix, the average precipitation is 2/100ths of an inch. And that's a record. Well, today they saw 14/100ths of an inch of precipitation. You tag that onto what they saw yesterday. They're now up to 0.46, shattering that record. That rain is now out of here. It's lifted up into the Flagstaff area, about 2 hours outside of Phoenix. We still have more thunder bumpers developing around the Las Vegas area. I-15 heading out of the Mojave Desert in the Barstow area into Las Vegas. More thunderstorm activity. Therefore, a flood watch is in effect until 11 o'clock tonight for Las Vegas. Meanwhile, we head on over to the Southern California area. It looks quiet now around Palm Springs after seeing a few showers around Coachella. And we do have the low clouds, the fog in the Los Angeles area, and that's what it looked like today. Average high this time of the year is in the high 70s. Today, 73 degrees and no sunshine there. Now we head to Northern California, to San Francisco, where the average high is 66, and it looks overcast there. You have a combination of the return of June gloom, that marine layer, coupled up with some of the haze, the smoke that's drifted in from those Canadian wildfires that have been burning out of control in Alberta and Manitoba and Saskatchewan, and it's drifting into the Bay Area with that air quality alert, that advisory in effect again for Thursday. Meanwhile, Seattle, 67 degrees, and you too had some rain showers today. And now we head back to the Phoenix area. Well, that's not their picture, but nonetheless, it was 95. And I got to tell you, 95 degrees there today, jumping up into the triple digits tomorrow. 79 today in Reno. It was 72 in Salt Lake City. How about 58 degrees in Denver? Here's the deal. We've got a very deep marine layer. It is deepening due to a weak trough, and it's going to just sag over Northern California and Southern California for Thursday, dropping the temperatures. Otherwise, the rain is moving out of the Phoenix area, out of the state of Arizona. And boy, today was the last day of temperatures in the 90s for Arizona, because triple digits tomorrow. And Alex, those triple digits are going to last all the way through June and July and August. You know, they're going to hit 110 by Sunday.
Wow, yeah, the heat is just going to keep on coming from here on out for folks in Arizona. All right, Roberta, thank you. Amazon says it is using AI to make sure the products consumers want are in stock when they want them and to deliver them faster. KTVU's Mark Sayer got a behind-the-scenes look inside the Amazon lab in Silicon Valley.
With another Amazon Prime Day on the horizon sometime over the summer, the company knows its fulfillment centers, like this one in Milpitas, will be busier than ever. But when you order a specific product, it's possible AI may have already predicted what you might be buying.
What we're really trying to do is get the right products in the right place.
Nathan Smith is Amazon's Director of Demand Forecasting. His team is using AI to predict what you may need based on everything from the weather to where a special event might be happening. In one recent case, Amazon's AI noticed a sudden run on clear plastic bags in different cities.
The model was predicting it well, but we were like, why is this happening? And it was Taylor Swift concerts, basically. Every time that she played, we'd see a demand spike for clear plastic bags.
Here at Amazon's Lab 126 in Sunnyvale, executives unveiled some of the company's latest AI initiatives. The company says AI has already allowed it to improve its regional demand forecasting on millions of popular items by 20%. That means items that might have otherwise taken 2 days now arrive in just one.
What this model really excels at is taking some of that historical data, taking what we've observed over time, but then applying it to products and patterns that we might not have seen before.
And AI is also directly helping delivery drivers not only to find the best routes, but also right down to specific parking spots in busy locations. Viraj Chatterjee is Vice President of Geospatial Mapping.
But now with generative AI, because we have the power to reason over petabytes of raw data at our disposal, we are able to precisely determine what parking location we should have for which building.
In this image provided by Amazon, you can see the new mapping technology. The AI models combine everything from satellite imagery to city zoning maps to predict where is the best place to park.
To make deliveries much more safer and efficient for our delivery partners, so that ultimately our customers are able to get the packages where they want it, accurately and efficiently.
All of this just another example of how AI is already integrated into our day-to-day lives, even if we never see it. Reporting in San Jose, I'm Mark Sayer, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
Coming up tonight here on West Coast Wrap, some high school students here in the West have started a once-in-a-lifetime trip. Tonight, how the Arizona Cardinals hope to mix learning with fun along the way. Also, an invasive parasite has recreational fishers on notice tonight. We have the steps you can take to ensure that your catch is safe to eat.
Can actually get infected by some trematode parasites, stages they infect fishes, and that's how they get to the next host, which is through the fish.
Three, 2, 1, ignition. And liftoff of Falcon 9. Go SpaceX, go Starlink.
SpaceX launched its Falcon 9 rocket today, sending 27 Starlink satellites into low Earth orbit. It launched from the Vandenberg Space Force Base in California's Santa Barbara County. Today is the 15th anniversary of Falcon 9's first launch. Well, many people fishing here in the West may be reeling in parasites. As Fox 5's Jamie Chambers reports tonight, a few simple steps will make the fish safe to eat.
UCSD Southern California freshwater study is the most comprehensive of its kind, identifying a new danger to everyone who enjoys fishing freshwater lakes and eating what they catch.
What's the issue? That we can actually get infected by some trematode parasites, we'll talk about what that means, in the United States by eating raw fish.
UCSD professor Ryan Hetchinger says this invasive species was introduced years ago, but now nearly all freshwater fish have been infected by a type of flatworm.
So there's a snail that's introduced. It carries these trematodes in the old world.
Now they're in the new world as well. This is the red rim Melania snail, and this is the invasive species that's been bringing in the parasites and the flatworms into our freshwater lakes in Southern California.
Because they leave the snails, the little swimming stages, they infect fishes, and that's how they get to the next host, which is through the fish.
At Lake Murray, these snails are easily found, but before you stop fishing altogether, Professor Hetchinger says the solution really is about as easy as it gets.
There's no need to panic, no need to freak out. Just cook your fish before eating it. Cook it pretty well, I have to say. Or the better trick is freeze it. Even if you're going to cook it, you might want to freeze it, so that way you can cook your fish medium rare if you would like to.
Fillet it and then you cook it up.
These fishermen dodged a bullet they didn't even see coming. Filleting, frying, or cooking for a long time is just the treatment to stay safe from flatworms, and not fishing is simply not an option.
To my opinion, it tastes good, expensive.
And that was Fox 5's Jamie Chambers reporting tonight when researchers tested fish collected from 5 popular fishing locations across San Diego County. More than 90% of the fish were infected. Finally tonight, the Arizona Cardinals have plans to give some students an education they'll never forget. The team has partnered with the Close Up Foundation to send a group of Arizona high schoolers to Washington, D.C. Today, more than 200 students boarded the Cardinals team plane to make that trip. For 3 days, they'll be meeting with elected leaders and see historical landmarks.
Super important to really invest in the students, right? Civics education has sort of been pulled out of the classrooms. And so how do we really use our platform to create an opportunity to get students engaged and excited about civics? And so this one's near and dear to Michael and our organization. And so what a great way to invest in our future.
That program is called Civics Matters Arizona, and this marks the program's 4th trip to the nation's capital. Hope they have a great time there. Great educational experience for them. That does it for West Coast Wrap tonight. We appreciate you watching. As always, have a great night.